What is up, FPG fam? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Tower of Fantasy video. So in today's video, what I wanted to do is simply give my first impressions or my honest opinions of Tower of Fantasy up until this point so far. Now, really quickly, as a disclaimer, I have never played Tower of Fantasy before. I never got into any of the closed betas or tried any of the closed betas, and I never played the CN version. Now, massive shout out to Hutta Studios for giving me the opportunity to be in their IDA Pioneer program, which is fantastic. It gives me access to the closed technical test to be able to try Tower of Fantasy beforehand, before it drops on the global version, which is going to be August 10th, which is extremely exciting. If you're excited about the global release coming here relatively soon, make sure you hit the like button for me. Helps out the channel tremendously and also lets me know that you're excited about the global release, but I digress. So Tower of Fantasy, as of right now, in this IDA Pioneer content creator program, with the ability to try the game out beforehand, this is really honestly my first iteration of playing the game and my first impressions of it. And I am going to touch on a few different points here in this video, mainly the character creation, traversing the world, weapons, character design, and combat. So I do hope you enjoy the video today, and if you do enjoy and you want to stay tapped into everything Tower of Fantasy, make sure you sub, join the FPG family. We would love to have you stick around. So before we talk about the character creation part, I did want to mention that Tower of Fantasy has been pleasantly surprising. So I haven't had the chance to play the game that much, but the amount that I have been able to play, I've been really trying to take advantage of exploring, trying to really see everything that this game has to offer so far, right? So let's go ahead and start with the character creation. The character creation, I'm sure you heard this already before, it's amazing. It's actually much better than what I even figured it could be or would be. Now, admittedly, I'm not the most creative person when it comes to a character creation. Whenever I have a game where you create your own character and you have so many different options, I usually choose a lot of the default options or a default skin and just move on with that and get right into the game. But with this one, I wanted to really explore what it had to offer. I wanted to really try and be creative and come up with something unique, but give the character creation a fair shot, right? And see what it all entails. And once again, I was pleasantly surprised. It was amazing, and of course I had to try and make my character look as close to the Raiden Shogun as possible, because the Raiden Shogun's my most favorite character, and I think I did a pretty decent job of that. I love the way she turned out, and I love the character creation because it's simple, but at the same time there's so much detail within it, right? It's not too complex to try and get your character to look a certain way, but it's detailed enough to where you can make a character look a specific way, if that makes sense. So with my character, once again, tried to go with the Raiden Shogun look, just purple, because purple is my most favorite color, and of course, once again, trying to go with the Raiden Shogun look. And then I like the bit of shading of red in the hair. It just was amazing. I had a really good time with it, and I think you guys will as well once you're able to hop in and create your own character. You can easily spend a half hour to an hour just on the character creation alone, and I'm sure most of you will. So it's amazing. I had a good time with that. Now, moving over to traversing the world. So once again, I haven't had too much time within the game leading up. So from today's date leading up to the official release, I'm going to try and put as much time into this game as possible so I can really experience as much of the game as I possibly can. So that way, when the game officially releases, I can have good guides for you, character showcases, and have good information and be a source that you guys can come to if you want to for information about Tower of Fantasy. But from what I've been able to play so far and the exploration that I've been able to do so far, it's been great. I've been enjoying traversing the world and having different methods to do that. Now, there are different mounts that I haven't unlocked yet, but I did unlock the jetpack, which has been amazing. Now, I wish the jetpack didn't have as long of a cooldown as it does, but even so, it's been a great time using it, and the dodges in order to be able to move faster, the sprint, the climbing, it's all been great, right? Pretty prototypical outside of like the different mounts. I know you can get vehicles and things of that nature that I just haven't unlocked yet. So all of those things add a added layer of dynamic to traversing and exploring that can make the game fun to explore and fun to traverse. So so far it's been great, and I've been having a good time with it. Now, moving on from there, I did want to talk about the weapons, because the weapons I think is one of, if not the most important part of this game. And the reason being is because you can hold, if I'm not mistaken, up to 3 weapons. At least that's all I've been able to hold up to at this point so far. But with that being the case, each weapon is really different in terms of its own passive, its own basic attacks, its own skills, and everything, its own discharge. Everything that goes with that weapon is different than the next that you have equipped. There's different resonance. There's just a lot more to the weapons and the weapons that you equip than I even realized. It's a lot more detailed, and I don't want to say a lot more complex, but it kind of is at the same time, and it leads to some interesting combos that you can put together. For example, you can have a healing staff with a DPS weapon with another weapon that's a little more tanky with resistance, or you can have a weapon that has more crit and another one that has more shatter, so you can take down shields. It leads to a lot of creativeness that you can have with these weapons and the ones that you equipped, and a lot of different strategies that you can implement that I absolutely love. It allows you to really explore different options and try different things, and that can really lead to the game being fresh and new. And as they add more weapons and characters to the game, that's only going to increase. And like I mentioned, each weapon has its own basic attack and numbers associated with it, its own in-air combat moves as well, and its own plunging attacks or animations that you have when you plunge with it. It has its own skills, and it has its own discharge when you switch to different weapons if you are able to proc it. So there's just a lot of details that go into the different weapons, a lot of strategy, a lot of creativeness, and it can lead to the game always being fun and fluid because you switch those weapons and you're able to mid-combat, and they encourage you to because of the discharge mechanic that you get from switching the weapons. So I've been having a really good time trying different combinations of different weapons and seeing which ones I enjoy the most. For example, I've been really loving the two-handed daggers that you can hold in each hand, and accompanying that with the javelin or spear that I have. It's just been leading to some really good times, and learning the mechanics and learning how to use them properly has been a lot of fun. And I will say the combat that you're seeing in this gameplay is not the best, because this is actually the first time that I've been playing a game on mouse and keyboard. I've never done that before, so I'm getting used to the WASD and the mouse and clicking, and it's just been a bit of a learning curve for me. But as I play the game more, as I've been using the mouse and keyboard more, I've been getting a little bit better, so expect better gameplay from me here in the future. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me on that one. But combat's great. I've been having a fun time with it, and because of the combat being so fun, I have this itch to unlock more weapons and to find more weapons and to unlock more characters, which leads me, great transition, into talking about characters and character designs. I've been seeing the characters that I have been releasing in the CN version, and I see the characters that you can obtain here on the global side. Now, there are a few things that I can't show while I'm in this creator program because it is just a closed technical test. But what I will say is that these characters and the character designs in the game of Tower of Fantasy are top notch in my opinion. They're a chef's kiss, and I really enjoy the way they look and the weapons that come along with them. And you can see that in the character creation. The character creation gives you a good idea of the type of design that Tower of Fantasy and Huda Studios is going when it comes to these characters that you can obtain. And that's one of the really cool parts about this game, is that you pull for characters, but it's not really the character you're pulling for the weapon, but you get the character as well. And all the characters, from what I can see so far, look great. And then you can utilize their weapon with your created character, or you can use that character with their weapon as well. It's very interesting. It's a really cool concept, and a concept that I really enjoy. I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would, because I knew of the concept already, but it's one of those things that you have to really have hands-on experience with it to really appreciate it. And I really appreciate the concept of pulling for weapons, but you get the character as well. It's kind of, it feels like a 2-in-1 type of BOGO deal that you get. I don't know, it's interesting, but I love the character designs. I love the way the characters look, as well as the weapon designs. The weapon designs look fantastic also, so just been enjoying every aspect of that. Now, the last thing that I did really want to speak about that I felt was prevalent was the combat. And the combat feels fluid. The combat feels very immersive. Once again, having those 3 different weapon types that you can equip, being able to switch through them seamlessly mid-combat, being able to get discharges, having an understanding of your passives for those weapons, being able to do mid-air combos, so you can be comboing with your basic attacks on the ground, you can lift them up into the air, do a mid-air combo, and then you can plunge back down with the plunging animation, which are different between the weapons. It just leads to a really good time. It leads to creativeness. It leads to, once again, being immersed within that combat, but it leads to you thinking a lot more than you think you would. A lot of times, these games can be very button mashy and kind of mindless. With this game, at least right now, right? I'm still the early stages, still at the very beginning, but having to switch between the weapons, knowing when to do a discharge, knowing when to do mid-air combos because you do use stamina for that, knowing which weapon would be best in this situation because of the passive and the shatter and the crit rate, like having all of that to think about while in combat for me is very enjoyable. I have a good time with it because it keeps me focused on the combat and it keeps combat fresh. It keeps combat fun. So I've been enjoying it, and I think it's been surprising me how much fun I've been having with the combat so far up until this point, right? Once again, I'm still in the beginning. This is just kind of my first impressions, my first hands-on experience with the game, my first opinions. I'm going to be playing this game extensively, really putting in some hours hopefully, and really get knowledgeable on this game so I can provide some showcases, which I'm excited about. Hopefully be able to provide some guides for you if you're interested in that, and to be able to keep you up to date with all the news and information regarding Tower of Fantasy, because this community and the developers, Hada Studios, have been so kind, so gracious, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to join this program, to be able to try the game out and to give my thoughts, and them giving us the creative freedom to create the content that we want to create while allowing us to be open and honest with our opinions, right? So so far so good. I've been loving and enjoying it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys would like to see more of in terms of content and videos from me specifically. I would be more than happy to provide whatever videos you're looking for when it comes to Tower of Fantasy. But anyways guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. Thank you so much for all the support. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to get on out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.